Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another stream on the channel. It's never a quiet week at Leicester City. Some more big transfer news, obviously, over the past couple of days. Live streams are back. I'm back from Germany. And we're back discussing Leicester, which at the minute is not the greatest of news. Obviously, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall is set to be joining Chelsea. We could be expecting the announcement right now, but it should be announced within the next couple of hours or so. And as we know, Michael Golding, the youngster, will be joining Leicester City from Chelsea for a fee of around 5 million, which has been reported. So yeah, lots to get into tonight. The season is obviously around 49 days away. I think it is now. The players return back to training on Wednesday at Seagrave, for obviously the players who haven't been at international duty. Well, Faz has just been knocked out by France in the Euros as well. So yeah, lots to happen. Transfer season is getting underway, and I think this is one we all expected to happen. But yeah, it is obviously a real shame. But yeah, Kiernan Dewsbury to Chelsea. So here we go. It's a done deal. He's had his medical. He's done his contract. We're just waiting for the official announcement between the two clubs. It is around 30 million, which Leicester are getting. Only a 2-year deal though for Dewsbury, which isn't the greatest for him. But obviously this helps us out drastically with PSR, FFP, all that rubbish really. And as Fabrizio says, Chelsea youngster Michael Golding will be on his way to Leicester for 5 million, which is quite steep for me for a 18-year-old. There's no buyback clause, but this guy is meant to have some big potential. So we'll look through Michael Golding in a bit more detail, but I think we should obviously go through Kiernan Dewsbury because that is the main part of the story. Obviously, it was reported a few days ago that it could be off to Brighton, and Leicester were going to get Jakob Moder in return, which I thought would be a pretty pathetic decision. But I don't think this one is particularly much better. But yeah, obviously there was rumours in January. I think it was quite obvious that Dewsbury was going to have to leave Leicester this summer because of the incompetence at the board level at the club. John Rodkin, Susan Whedon, etc. I'll try not to go on a rant this video, but it was always going to happen. Leicester had to get their money in. Obviously, Dewsbury was a player who's been at Leicester for years now. I think he's been at the club since he's around like 6 or 7. So obviously the profit we get for Dewsbury is pure profit. So it's 30 million for Leicester on the books, which as we know helps Leicester out massively in terms of PSR. Obviously Chelsea also gave Leicester around 10 million for Maresca and his staff. So pretty much Chelsea have saved Leicester from getting an extra punishment in terms of FFP. But it's always Chelsea though, isn't it? It's always Chelsea. But let me know your thoughts in the chat. Sam has no words. Not officially, but pretty much so. Fabrizio said that here we go, and that's never wrong. So yeah, he has gone to Chelsea, sadly enough. Hopefully, C Cooper does have a play. It's not the best start for him, but in terms of the Michael Golding coming in, Cooper is quite good with younger players, so it could work out. But I think there's still a long way to go on Michael Golding. He could be a player to go into the youth squad. But then again, if you were going to sign a player for 5 million, surely you'd think it's a player who could potentially get into the first team. But on the bright side of things, this guy's meant to be, he's meant to be very good. He's a captain for the England youth squad. I'm not sure. I believe it's the under 21s or maybe under 18s. It's one of the youth team. So he's meant to be very good. He's meant to be a big star, but obviously at that age, it's still quite hard to predict. The players are quite raw, and then again, Leicester have players in that area in Will Alves and Sammy Braybrooke. So as of right now, Leicester have got 3, pretty good young players in that centre midfield area. But like I said, we'll get into Golding in a minute. But obviously, Kiernan is passing out. Potentially, just like I said, it's hard. But if Leicester are spending 5 million on a player, you would expect them to have some sort of plans for him into the first team. But obviously, it's a clean slate for everyone under Steve Cooper because obviously it's fresh plans. We don't know the formation yet. I'll be doing a video in the next couple of days trying to dissect the tactics and how Leicester could play next season. But yeah, still a long way. I'm just gonna have a quick look on Twitter just to see if there has been any official announcements by any of the clubs because they obviously usually do make it on the hour. But still can't see anything. Hopefully, it does get announced tonight. In terms of the date today, obviously, Michael Brighton, Kelechi Iheanacho, Dennis Pratt are now officially no longer Leicester City players. It also means that Wilfred Ndidi is currently a free agent as well. Obviously, we're still waiting on Leicester to get a contract sorted for him. So as of right now, Ndidi is not a Leicester City player, which is pretty mental to think of. But yeah, Leicester do need to get the ball going now with transfers. Like I said, the players are in Seagrave on Wednesday, I believe. So yeah, lots to happen in the next couple of months. But yeah, that was the tweet originally from Fabrizio. If you guys are just joining us, let's quickly get up the here we go tweet just to confirm it. Obviously, if you're living under a rock, this pretty much means that he's going. So yeah, he's reunited with Enzo. Obviously, the 30 million, which is obviously a plus for Leicester. We could have got a bit more for him potentially, but it's a case of Leicester trying to get the money in. And as always, Leicester have left it to the last minute possible to do this. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a delay, and we still get shafted with FFP. But yeah, that is the story. Obviously, it's a massive shame. He's been at Leicester, like I said, since he was a kid. Instrumental last season, and do I think Dewsbury is really wanting to go that much? Probably not. Obviously, it's a good move for him going to Chelsea, but I think he'd be more than happy to stay at Leicester, and it's the case of the ownership at Leicester, which has kind of forced Dewsbury out. And I think this tweet from Jeff Peters sums it up very nicely around the situation around Dewsbury, because genuinely, I don't think I don't think Dewsbury was the type of player to be jumping the gun at Leicester. I don't think that's the case. So yeah, Jeff says it's not Kiernan Dewsbury's fault that Leicester are selling him. He's a local boy. He's giving it all for the shirt. PSR stuff and incompetence from the board at Leicester have led to this, and I think that it sums it up quite perfectly, in my opinion. Massive shame. Massive shame for Kiernan, but obviously going to Chelsea is good for his career. He can link up with Enzo. Will he start there week in, week out? Probably not, but then again, it's hard to turn down somewhere like Chelsea. But obviously, there was some links of Dewsbury going to somewhere like Brighton, and I think that would have been a bit of a strange one because it was about 20 million plus Moda, which I thought would be a ridiculous deal, in my opinion. But anyway, hurts me to say it, but let's do Dewsbury. Let's try and move on to the player who is coming into Leicester. Let's focus on the present in Michael Golding. So I'm going to go on to his transfer market. Obviously, he's a very young, raw player. There's not too much data and information around Michael Golding. But in terms of his position, he's kind of all over the place. I'd probably say an advanced 8. If Leicester was still playing under Maresca, I would say Michael Golding could probably play in the position where Dewsbury and Diddy played, in that kind of attacking 8 role in front of Winks and Ricardo in that system. So but yeah, obviously he's still very young, so they're still trying to work out his main position. In terms of his stats, he's obviously been at Chelsea for a while. We all know that Chelsea have got a history of bringing players through their academy. He's made he's made a 1 minute appearance in the FA Cup. So yeah, spending 5 million on a player who's made a grand total of 1 minute in the professional game. But obviously he's been in the under 18 in the Premier League. 6 goals, 2 assists in 22 games, which isn't too bad. FAU Cup, EFL Trophy as well. So yeah, very, very raw. And obviously with these type of players, it's very hard to get much data on him. But I'm going to get a tweet up from a Chelsea fan who's got a bit more in depth on the player and what we can expect. Obviously, don't believe him fully, but I'm going to take his word for it. So yeah, this is for Leicester fans on Michael Golding. He's best in that number 8 spot, which obviously replaces Dewsbury to a T. And as of right now, obviously Leicester are very light in that area, especially with the likes of Dennis Pratt leaving the club. Obviously, Samare is now officially back at Leicester City as well. But yeah, coming through at the under 16s, he was touted as the best of his age group. Obviously, that's very young. He's a hugely talented player, tall, lanky. Sounds like Caste this. His best attribute is receiving the ball on the turn. He's excellent in tight spaces, extremely nimble, great ball control. Technically, he's top. His long legs mean he can cover ground. That's a bit of a weird thing to say, but anyway. Profile-wise, he compares him to Musiala. Operates slightly deeper, so that could potentially suit Leicester if you are sitting back a bit more. In terms of Leicester's formation next season, I don't expect us to play a back 3 or probably a back 5, depends which way you look at it. So I think in terms of midfield, it could be limited. It could be literally a 2-man midfielder, and probably Harry Winks and whoever's alongside him. I think Golding will go in there in the first game of the season. I'd be very surprised. But in terms of Golding and his effect on the team next season, as of right now, I can't really see it. The only way I see it is Golding being an option from the bench potentially. Obviously, if he hits the ground running superbly, he could push for the first team and make first starts. But I think as an 18-year-old with limited experience, it is going to be a big step up. But this is definitely one for the future. But I think it's important now for Leicester that we get some players in for now, because our team and the squad is looking very light. Southampton and Strengford, they got Taylor Hard-Bellis on a permanent. Ipswich got Amari Hutchinson on a permanent. So I think Leicester now need to try and step up, because we're on the back foot immediately this season, and we all know why. Yeah, I think all in all, this makes it a good reading of Golding. He says he can play him in that 10 slot, so he's fairly flexible in that midfielder area. But it's going to be a case of waiting to see what Michael Golding could potentially do at Leicester, because still extremely, extremely young. But some positives, exciting player. But in terms of this question here, I can't get away from the fact, 5 million on someone this year and this age. I know the market right now is ridiculous with these FFP dodgy transfers and clubs trying to, protect themselves with each other. But yeah, I think it's a difficult one. But in terms of a bit more on the story around Dewsbury and Golding, we're expecting the announcement to be fairly imminent. Both players have had their medicals and contracts today, I do believe. But yeah, it was Golding who made he made his debut in the third round against Preston in the FA Cup. He made 4 appearances, scoring 1 goal as Chelsea's under-18s reached the last 8 of the FA Youth Cup. Dewsbury, obviously the 30 million move. So yeah, that's all we know in terms of the deal at the moment. We're just awaiting for the official announcements of the club. But obviously, it is the 1st of July, which means that the kind of window does roll over, and this is now officially the start of the new season. I think Foster makes a good point here in terms of the lack of communication at Leicester right now, because if the Fatwa deal is officially done, it should be announced today, realistically. But obviously, I don't know why it's taken so long. Obviously, just as he says, Albright and Ian Pratt, the wage bill is reduced as they have now officially left Leicester City. Hopefully, there can be some news around Wilfred Ndidi as well, because just like I said earlier, he's currently a free agent. So technically, anybody could try and pick him up, but I believe he's still in contract negotiations with Leicester. And the longer it goes on, the more I do think he'll stay, because if he was, set on leaving the club, surely he would still be in communication, because for his sake, you want to get your deal done as soon as he can in the window, because the last thing you want to do as a player is join a team late in the window. You've got to try settle in, try and get into the team when you've already like 3 or 4 games in. So yeah, it's important that Leicester get the ball rolling now. And for me, there's no excuses, because we've got Steve Cooper at the wheel. Obviously, I'm not happy about that, as you probably know, and I assume some of you guys won't be too happy about that either. But it's now time for Leicester to adapt and get going. We've got 2 pre-season games announced, which is obviously a positive. Hopefully, a few more on the way. Hopefully, we get a kit announced soon as well, because we need someone to play in. So hopefully, some communication from the club within the next couple of days or so, because the silence right now is pretty definite in terms of the transfer front. Aston Villa signed 3 players today, and what Leicester did. So I think it's important we get going on that front. But yeah, in terms of some other transfer news, we're just going to have a quick look on the Foster account. Obviously, this is the best place to get news and stuff on Twitter. So obviously, in terms of the young players, another one to sign a new contract, Amani Richards, who's meant to be another young talent. So in terms of the squad right now, the youth squad is looking fairly strong. Obviously, we have got, I think, was it Lee Tomlin is one of the new youth managers. So we have got that one sorted as well, which is good to see. So the future's looking bright. But like I said, the squad right now is fairly thin. If Dewsbury will go in, you're left with limited midfielders. There's no Ndidi right now, so that leaves you with someone like Harry Winks, Ricardo, if you class him in that midfielder role. But I don't think he'll be there next season by any stretch. Obviously, I think Ricky will probably be in the wing-back slot, potentially with James Justin, Victor Christensen, etc. But that is another video for another day in terms of the tactics, and I think we'll get a better idea of that when the season obviously gets started and pre-season gets going. In terms of some other Leicester City transfer news, there has been some links with a centre-back from Benfica, if I can quickly find it, this man here. So we have to see how that one does develop. Obviously, the link isn't too strong. It's from Record Portugal, so obviously take that with a pinch of salt. But it'd be interesting to see if that one does develop. But yeah, there's a lot of holes right now in the squad, and we need to make some movement very quickly. And I think when Cooper does get the lads in for the first training session within the first week or so, I think he'll get a good idea of that. Luke Thomas, I'm not too sure about Luke Thomas, because I could have sworn he signed a new contract with us, but then some people are saying he's gone or he's a free agent. So I'm not too sure on that. To be fair, is he a midfielder? All right. Yeah, we were linked with a centre back from Portugal before, so probably got mixed up. But I think Victor gone. Currently Leicester play for about Victor Christensen. So yeah, I'm not too sure on him, but personally, I'd love to see Christensen next season because especially under Steve Cooper, if you play that five at the back, the wing backs are very important in transition, and obviously Christensen is very attacking. So I think he could be good for us next season. But obviously, if he's not wanting to stay here, I don't blame him for going because we're going to be obviously playing quite a bit of defensive football next season. But then again, I have looked into Steve Cooper, and when he can, he does like to play more expansive football. He did that at Swansea. He did that at Forest when he got them promoted. So it's a case of balance. But in order to get survival, which is what he did at Forest, he just went completely and parked the bus, and it worked. To be fair, obviously Leicester didn't, and that's why. Yeah, I've seen the links around that. Nothing too concrete, but there has been a few rumours. I believe we're interested in a Paraguayan international as well, potentially. Obviously, these rumours are very light, and it's the type of rumours you are going to get at this point of the window. Just hope we get some more concrete stuff. Obviously, Callum O'Hare at Coventry is now free agent as well, so it would be pretty funny to see him join. But personally, I don't really rate him too highly, so I don't really want that to happen. But I think obviously Leicester's finances are quite tight, so it's important we do make the most of the loans to free agents because we saw it last year. We got a few players on loan, Callum Doyle, Fatu with the option to buy. Yunus Atkin obviously wasn't instrumental, but still helped us out at times. So I think it's important we do go into that market because if we can't be spending 20 million on players, if you don't have the funds to do that, you might as well try and loan people in. It's the Premier League. Most players are going to want to come and join you. Is Leicester an attractive club to come to right now? Maybe. I'm not too sure. If you're a younger player, potentially the facilities are obviously fantastic. Steve Cooper does work well with youngsters, which I think is why Leicester have gone for someone like Michael Golden. But then again, could Leicester have done better and got someone better from Chelsea in a more traditional swap deal? Yes. Just like I said, this guy's had 1 minute in the FA Cup. That's it. And Chelsea have got a lot of players on their books who just don't play. You got players like Lavia, who obviously that's quite a stretch to get him in, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of players like that. There was some links with Armando Broja. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much 25 mil for Dewsbury-Hall, which to me seems quite cheap. To be fair, obviously Dewsbury-Hall, he hasn't got the most experience in the Premier League, but he was an English player. He did very well last year. Could Leicester have got more? But then again, I just feel like it's the same old with Leicester. The board have rushed it. They've gone, oh crap, we need to sell him for PSR. Let's just accept the first offer pretty much and do it on the cheap. So yeah, 25 mil realistically for Dewsbury. If you discard Golding, for me does seem quite cheap. So, but then again, it is 25 mil and technically 35 mil from Chelsea with Enzo and his stuff. So I don't know, boys. I don't know. I just hope we get some positive news because since we got promoted, well, since Preston, really, it's been a disaster, hasn't it? We lost to Blackburn, which obviously doesn't matter, but you know what I mean. It's been poor, hasn't it? In terms of the Euro performances, obviously Yannick and Wout Faz or Victor Christensen and Hermansen in case of Denmark are also back now, so which is good to see. I thought Faz played quite well today, coming up against Mbappe, which is obviously no easy task. Thought Yannick did fairly well at Denmark. Obviously, Victor made the mistake against England, but apart from that, I think our players have been fairly good at the Euros, which is good to see. I believe that's pretty much all of them. So yeah, hopefully they can get back, get some rest, and obviously get ready for the Premier League season, which obviously isn't too long away now. We are into July, which is good to see. But yeah, I'll just have a quick look on Twitter just to see if there is anything else, and I'll probably head off in a few minutes, boys, because we've pretty much covered most of it. So yeah, there's still no official announcements from any of the clubs, but I believe it will probably get announced tonight. But yeah, I think Valfaz had a good day today. It's good to see. The squad depth is mad. So many players will flop and be bent off 100%. Chelsea's just ridiculous, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like another player from Leicester got Maresca. That was bad enough, and now you're going for Dewsbury. It's like, come on, but Yeah, I just Chelsea scouts. What's the point of them? They just either rob players off Brighton or come to us. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah, I guess that is the power. I know, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The amount of players that club have is ridiculous. I swear they still have Lukaku on their books or something pathetic like that. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. It's a completely different world to Leicester, but hopefully we can compete with them on the pitch. But yeah, Chelsea Leicester next season is safe to say it's going to be an interesting game, especially if Ben Chilwell play if Fofana can manage a few minutes with his dodgy knees. But I don't know if you guys saw it, but Fofana posted a story today, giving a little, a winky eye emoji to Dewsbury-Hall coming, and I just so petty especially from Fofana, who, bearing in mind, has made more, Instagram stories and minutes in the last season. It's just so petty. Cannot stand the guy. We'll cut next season. Yeah, we probably are, to be fair, mate. I think to be honest, look, yeah, we are probably cut for next season. But then again, there's no pressure on Leicester. Everyone's going to expect us to go down, so see what happens. But yeah, it could be a long old season. But I reckon if Leicester can get a few signings in, you never know. You never know. I'm gonna try and stay a bit more positive. But yeah, I don't think we could have had a much worse start to the kind of season if you class it. So yeah, but I think spending money means good. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? They just spend money here, then everywhere. There's no real direction, and I still don't get why it's that Pochettino, to be fair. But anyway, just imagine if Leicester was still sat here with Enzo, we'd be saying completely different stuff, wouldn't we? But anyway, he did. To be fair. Oh yeah, 100%. It's to be honest, if Fofana wasn't such, if he wasn't such a, it's a shame really because I thought he was going to be a really good player, to be fair, because when he was playing for Leicester, I thought he'd go on to be one of the best centre backs in the world, to be fair. And as he now can't see, he just gets so many injuries and his legs are done, to be fair. But yeah, I guess there's something called karma. But anyway, how do we manage to sell him? What, Fofana? To be fair, at the time he was up there with one of the best centre backs in the Premier League, in my opinion. Obviously, he had that big injury originally, then came back and scored in his first game at Rennes away, didn't he? So that's probably part of the reason. But yeah, now we've got that Faz and Yannick Vestergaard, which you know what? Yeah, he was. He was a Rolls Royce. Let's be honest. But just a shame that he couldn't leave in a well mannered, appreciative way. To be fair, because of what Leicester did for him, stuck by him when he got injured, then decided to leave like that. But anyway, that's a long way away. Look at them now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't say it's better, but he was on par with Saliba, and obviously them two were together at St Etienne, I think it was. So it's crazy to think what a few injuries can do, and their career paths right now are completely different. But yeah, boys, it's going to be an interesting few weeks. Obviously, the first pre-season games do start in a couple of weeks as well. We've obviously got Shrewsbury and Lens away. I expect a few more to hopefully get confirmed. Hopefully, one a bit closer. The under 21s, I think it is, have been drawn against, I think it's Notts County, Northampton. Not sure who the other team is in the Papa John's or whatever it's called. Bristol Street Motors Trophy, same thing. So that would be good to see them, and actually potentially might try and go to some of them games as well, because I think the youth squad right now is looking fairly strong. Obviously, in terms of first team quality, it's very thin, but I think it's going to be a big few weeks for lots of Will Alves and Sammy Braybrook to try and prove to Steve Cooper that they can be ready for first few minutes, and maybe Sammy Braybrook and Will Alves can go on to be the next kid, can go on to be the next Dewsbury, see local lads as well themselves. So yeah, I just hope we can get some positive links, and maybe this time next week we could have a link to a more experienced player who could come in. To be fair, I think the youth squad at Leicester has always been fairly good. So we had lots of Hamza Chowdhury, even Chilwell came through it, etc. There a few years ago as well. So it has always produced some pretty good players. Also, we have let go a few other players. I think we let one go to Liverpool who was on their bench a few times as well. Really, Jesus. Do we still have that Amati guy? Not too sure on that one. But anyway, boys and girls, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for commenting. It's much appreciated as well. There will be a video from Euro 2024 to come as well in the next couple of days. So that will be a good one to watch. I'm going to try and head back out there potentially for the semi-final if England do get there. So we'll see on that front. But yeah, boys, lots more content to come. Consistent live streams. Now we're going to get some consistent transfer rumours. And in terms of Dewsbury-Hall and Michael Golden, I expect them to be announced tonight. Potentially 8, 9 or 10 to be fair, because it's pivotal that it does get done tonight. And because if not, Leicester will be in trouble still with FFP. But yeah, much appreciated, boys. Make sure to go and drop a like if you haven't already. Always helps the channel out. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you boys in the next one. Stay safe and all the best.